First off, what it is, what it do. How y'all doing today? Sorry. I just thought I heard something. First and foremost, don't nothing make a man feel good or feel better than a fresh ass haircut. Ooh. Also, I made this video the same day as my last video, but obviously I'm posting it later. Blah. Anyway, today I'm gonna rant about something different. This is about military and love or relationships, or however y'all wanna, however you want to describe it. So the military got a bad stigma when it comes to relationships, you know. I've heard multiple things. One thing is like, don't get married for love in the military because your spouse gonna cheat between deployments and all this. And I mean, that could happen, you know, it's realistic, you know, but that's not a reason why you shouldn't try to pursue a relationship with somebody you obviously have feelings for. Another thing I peeped was, this ain't no secret, but I guess for you civilian folks who may see this, let me enlighten y'all on a couple things. BH, basic allowance for housing. Not really so much in Germany or overseas. No, overseas. Okay, when you in the States though, for real, you get an allowance for how much based off where you live. And like Fort Bliss, it was like $1,200, and your rank and all this. The government gives you, the military gives you a certain amount of money for. Sorry, it was a B. Gives you a certain amount of money for housing allowance. Obviously, you have to be married, E6, some places E5, or even if you just have a child. And 50%, 51%. Okay. The greatest scam in the military is BH, because so many people get married just for money. You feel me? Yeah, you get your own house. You get money, and what you do is you get a nice little place that's way underneath. And when I say way underneath, I'm talking about utilities. It costs way less than what you get. So if you give me $1,200 and you say, hey, figure out where you want to live, you know what I'm saying? Or we give you this much we give you $1,200 to find your place to live. Or I'm wording it weird. But, okay, you find you a nice little $600-700 spot. You sit around and utilities for the most part, $200 to $300. This is just single. This is one person. All that, $200-300, and you just pocketed $200. That don't sound like a lot, but you get your own place. You don't have to worry about barracks inspections. You don't have to worry about is somebody else gonna leave your house dirty. No, pretty much a free house, and $200 extra a month adds up. But it's not like they just give you the $1,200 at once. It's like this. Let's say BH is $1,200, right? Let's say, what was it, E4 base pay is, I don't know, I'm making these numbers up. Let's say it's $2,400 a month, okay? So we get split up. So that's 12 and 12. And then your BH gets split up. So that's 6 and 6. So essentially, you could be E4 with like $1,800 a paycheck. Now, I don't know about y'all, but before I joined the Army, I done worked at McDonald's, and I'd made a lot stretch with $500 to $800 a paycheck. You telling me you finna give me money to support my living? Like, you finna give me money? Nah. So this is what people do. You sit around, you marry a friend, damn it, a friend. You marry a friend, no emotional attachment. And from there, you sit around and usually a civilian, you get BH. So people marry their civilian friends. Their civilian friend stays wherever. Let's say New York. New York has one of the highest BHs. Imagine you're in Germany, your spouse is in New York, they have to pay you that money. And in Germany, you're not living off post. So they pay you BH based on where your spouse is living. If your spouse is not command sponsorship, or essentially if your spouse does not get approval from your command to come over here, then the Army will give you money to finance your spouse, to finance a place for your spouse to live. So imagine you got a homie, right? Your homie is back in New York and you're in Germany. And New York BH is like $3,000 a month. So let's say you get paid as an E5 something around $1,700-1,800 a month, or a paycheck. That's unrealistic. So let's just say like 16. Let's play safe, say 1,600, right? Plus 3,000 divided by 2, that's 1,500. 16 plus 15 is 3,100. You're making $3,100 a paycheck. You have no rent. You have no utilities. All you pay is maybe a cell phone, car note, car insurance. Oh, and usually people are nice enough to break off their spouse a couple dollars here and there. But for the most part, the free medical, that's enough for most people. Like, civilians don't have to, they can go to the doctor whenever they want and they don't have to pay. How is that not a fair trade-off? I'm giving you free medical, and all you have to do is have a contract marriage. That's essentially what it is. So that's one avenue you can go through. Then comes the basic, I found her or him, I met him, I love him, and I want to get married. I'm going to kind of go off subject here. If any of y'all are familiar with the love languages, y'all recognize that there's, I think there's 7 love languages. And one of the biggest ones that stand out in this situation is quality time. Because you're literally with people that are not your spouse. You wake up, 6 o'clock. That's if you're one of those late sleepers. I'm not. Usually I go to the gym before. I go to the gym before I do PT. So let's just say a normal person. So 6 o'clock, you wake up, get ready, do PT. 6:30, it's PT, 6:30, 7:30. You go home. If your spouse doesn't work, then your spouse may be home. If your spouse works, usually they're either getting ready or on their way to work. So at 7:30, you go home, you shower. Usually you're by yourself. Then you go to work. Come home for lunch. If you go home, a lot of people eat out. 11:30, 13. You're still not seeing your spouse till 1,700. Now, if you have a good job or a normal job, you get off at 1,700. Shit, some people be getting off at like 1,500. But for somebody like me who's a mechanic, it could be as early as 1,600. It could be as late as 20. I've gotten off at 2,300. At one time, I don't work from 6 in the morning, same schedule, to 6 the next day. Like, that is real. So, essentially, you come home. Let's say you get home 5:30-ish. You know what I'm saying? You still got dinner. You still got a shower. You still got to take care of you. Have your own time and spend time with a spouse. It's like 3-4 hours a night. You're spending 3-4 hours a night with your spouse, the person you love, the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, and you give essentially 12 hours a day to the military. 12 plus 4, 16. 3, 4, 15, 16. The rest of the hours, you sleep. So in any given week, you spend, from Monday to Friday, you spend maybe 15 hours a day with your spouse and about 60 hours a day with other people. That's that quality time. Because in certain aspects, people may start, may start falling for somebody they spend quality time with over their own spouse. It happens. Or you think you fall, or realistically, people just want a booty call. And that tends to complicate the scene, murk the scene. And then if you're deployed, you're with these people for 9 months, really no breaks. And then your spouse is back home by themselves. Usually you're on a different time zone than your spouse. So when you're awake, they're asleep, and vice versa. And men, y'all really dumb if y'all think other men ain't trying to holler at your girl. You're done. You're absolutely done. There's a reason you chose her. There's somebody else that want to choose her too. Women, there's probably a female. No, females ain't like that. But sometimes females get a little, but not really. Not really. I think men just got horn dogs. Man, just. Anyway, that situation makes relationships in the Army quite hard, you know, and it makes it quite difficult, and it makes people second guess love. And then on top of that, basic relationship problems like arguing and fighting, and it just makes it that much harder. So in the military, relationships are hard, and I think that it takes a strong person to get married in the military, and it takes even stronger. Not even get married, to be in a relationship. It takes even stronger will and stronger minded people to stay and commit to a relationship, especially in the military. So just a PSA, if you see y'all military folks and you see somebody who's been married 5, 10 years, y'all need to sit here and ask them how. Because I'm trying to tell you, from somebody who has been divorced, that shit is hard as fuck. The military has like one of the highest divorce rates. It's brazy, man. It's brazy. Anyway, comment down below. Tell me y'all little experiences, and I'm trying to, in the future, I want to kind of work on doing more video ideas. You know, I'm not just serious conversations and serious rants. This rant was a little all over the place, but it all came back to relationships in the military, man. Summing up to this, it's hard, but with enough work, anything is possible. Anyway, it's your boy Wash. It is what it is. Y'all be blessed.